Hello and welcome to another edition of Banana Island Living podcast. My name is Shade and I know I'm always excited and really thrilled with to have this new person on the show, but today is a special pleasure and I'll tell you why. I've been trying to get Ayo for forever to come on this podcast because he's such a fascinating person. So I'll let him say hello first.
Hello, this is Ayo Aderinwale.
Yes, I'll give you a little bit about his backstory, like I always do. But Ayo's backstory is so incredible that if I keep saying it, I'm going to be saying this for the next 5 minutes. So I'm just going to say a little bit now. I'll put it in a little bit more as we go along. Ayo was born on the 28th of August, 1962. Now, where were you born?
Oshobo.
Oh, wow. So you're son of the soil.
No, my father was a teacher. My mother was an auxiliary nurse.
Okay.
In Our Lady of Fatima Catholic Hospital.
Fantastic.
That's where my mom was working.
Yeah.
My father was a grade 2 teacher. So that's where they were.
Education was always in your blood.
Yeah, sure.
Now I get it. Now, I'll tell you, Ayo is that rare of rare animals that sort of, he's done so much in the public space, and then his private business is equally big. I don't know how he does it, but he manages to straddle the two. I'll tell you what he's been doing, and then you tell me whether in 2 lifetimes, you and I would be able to get through that. Now, he's got the Member of the Order of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He's got the Timbuktu Award, awarded by the Femme Afrique Solidarité. He was lead consultant and coordinator of the special group of experts of the African Union on the establishment of the United States of Africa. Now, that blows my mind because I've always been curious about that. I'm going to read the others and then we're going to come back to this United States of Africa thing. He was Deputy President, Economic, Social and Cultural Council of the African Union, Chairman of the Technical Advisory Panel on Parliaments in Africa for the African Capacity Building Foundation, Secretary, Nigerian Working Group on the African Peer Review Mechanism, and there's more, so chill, there's a bit more. Member, Federal Government of Nigeria Steering Committee on the Implementation of the African Peer Review Mechanism, Member African Union Civil Society Organization Working Group on the Economic, Social and Cultural Council, Member Panel of Judges of the JCs, 10 Outstanding Young Personalities, Member of the Steering Committee of the Commonwealth People's Foundation of the Commonwealth House of Government in Nigeria in 2003, Grand Patron, Nigeria Civil Defense Corps, Ogun State, Member Interim Board of Trustees of the Obasanjo. Oh my goodness. How do you pack all this in? It's just, anyway, let me just ask you about the United States of Africa one. What was that concept? Because I've heard a lot of myths and Twitter talk about this. What was the United States of Africa project?
Well, Pan-Africanism had always been a major desirable political objective. The idea to have a union of African states where we would be like the EU or like the Americans. Yeah. So, the first set of nationalists and political leaders in Africa did work towards that. The Nkrumah and the rest of them. Yeah. Well, for whatever reason, it didn't happen. Yeah. Then when we made the transition from OAU to African Union.
Yeah. Was that under Gaddafi?
Yeah, no, Gaddafi was president of Libya. Yeah. Gaddafi had been one of those few people who had always again been in the forefront about achieving African unity. Yeah. Now, the idea was simple: to see how do we make Pan-Africanism a reality? And what we then tried to do was to go at it at 2 stages. First is to create like a union government. Yeah. African leaders will cede part of their sovereignty on what we call soft issue areas. environment, industrialization, and then a few things like that, where you have common policies, and then you have like a union president.
Okay.
And then Africa
could be like the EU president.
Something like that.
Okay.
But with just very limited areas where you have that subsidiarity and all of that. So that was the whole idea that we worked on that for quite a very long time. Yeah. We had a first round of consultative meetings in Abuja. President Thabo Mbeki, former President Alpha Konare, who was chair of the AU Commission, President Obasanjo, I think Prime Minister Abu Triki stood in for President Muammar Gaddafi, and quite a number of
so there was political buy-in at that
massive.
time.
At the onset, it was massive. There was political buy-in. But even then, there was no consensus even among the political leaders.
Okay.
So because subsequently, as it so happened, even at that Abuja meeting, President Mbeki did not hide and did not mince words about his doubt and resistance to the idea in itself.
To the whole project.
Yes.
So what did he come for?
He came, of course, to
listen.
Put his opinion on the table, and wanting to see if you could, Mbeki is your typical philosopher king. He is a man of logic and reason, and he's open to debate. I mean, you listen to his argument. Okay, you could see some of it, but you also know. Again, I think if you look at it, the South Africans and Southern Africans think they have it different. They have it all made. I mean, what are they going to be doing? If they were to have that kind of union, what will happen to their country? Maybe
wasn't it a bit like the British and the EU?
Something similar.
That role.
So I think those kinds of resistance, those kinds of doubt, so no matter how much effort and work and energy we put into it, because part of what we're going to do, we're going to create the African Monetary Fund, we're going to create the African Development, Reconstruction and Development, Finance, African Finance Institute, so many initiatives, ideas. We had a huge team. We worked on this, and when we got to Banjul, at the AU meeting in Banjul and 2007, and President Obasanjo made the presentation. Before Banjul, we had been at two other summits where they had blocked it, and then had referred it to a committee of 6, and then another committee, and we went through all of these various processes, ending up in Banjul. Again, in Banjul, President Mbeki
again
led the resistance against the whole idea. And he was very direct. Even though the president of Chad and a number of others were saying that Gaddafi and the rest of them, of course, when we left, we then, at the next AU summit in Accra, Ghana, the following year, again, it came up for discussion, and it was referred again that we should go work again with the Council of Ministers. And I gave this brilliant speech. I think one of the best speeches I ever gave. When I finished, I thought, okay, I had everybody. And then immediately they called for a break. They did not allow the debate. And then by the time we returned from the break, I think it was Lesotho that stood up and said, we're not here to be lectured, and one thing led to the other. At that point, really, was when I just kind of lost it. Flying back to Lagos from Addis was when I said, I think it's time to pack in this
public sector
development work. I've done it. Yes, because I just became...
It was disheartening.
No, the point is, I looked at so many initiatives, so many efforts
and
that
nothing,
you put into this. You're dealing with cynics, skeptics, and you cannot build. Skeptics and cynics don't build.
No.
They don't transform. They're too wise. They're all knowing. When you have that type of situation, and I told myself, okay, what are you? You're an analyst. That's at best. You're always in an advisory capacity.
Why don't you go and do something yourself?
These guys take the decisions. And even the people that you imagine should take decisions when it comes to the crunch, the key is horse trading. These fellows don't even have any serious ideological commitment to anything.
Do you think you lost your as they say, you lose your religion at that time? You became a bit more cynical yourself. You lost your idealism or what?
I will not say idealism. To a large extent, I am really cognizant of their limitations and contradictions.
Yeah.
I'm not blinded to it.
Yeah.
But okay, you guys took on this initiative. It was not preached to you.
Yes, that's true.
It's part of your resolution insert.
And you committed a lot of money to
resources and time and energy. So at that point, you're saying to yourself, okay, we brought the CSSDCA, it wasn't going here or there. So you say to yourself, listen, if you continue this trip, either you're just going to become extremely very cynical or very frustrated. Why don't you go play in another space?
Okay, so what space did you go into?
I decided to shift a considerable part of my attention to building my business, to say, okay, let's play.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting, and I wanted to read what you're doing at the same time. Now, what you may not know is that Ayo is also in the private sector, chairman of PhD Foods, chairman board of directors, Business School of the Netherlands of Nigeria, chairman Justrite Nigeria Limited. Just in case you don't know that, how many stores do you have at the moment? 18. Within how many years?
Since 21 years now.
Gosh. Okay. Executive director, Python Global Sourcing Limited, executive director, Justrite International Trading, executive director, Samuel Anderson Nigeria Limited, executive director, James Anderson Technology Nigeria Limited, member board of trustees, Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library Foundation, former member editorial board of the Daily Times of Nigeria. You were also former chairman of the board of directors of Bell's Educational Foundation. So that flight back from Addis was your damascene moment?
Well, once I walked out of that meeting, the Council of Ministers meeting, I was done.
Oh.
I was just done.
Right.
For me, it was my best performance. I had not slept. I'd worked on that speech up to every minute. Wow. We worked on all angles. We'd done everything we could to push. Prior to that, for 10 years, we were pushing what we call the CSSDCA, which is the proposals for a standing conference on security, stability, development, and cooperation in Africa. What was supposed to be the Africa's Helsinki process, which was supposed to be part of what we're saying, launching Africa's Magna Carta. Because as at that particular point in time, when we're pushing the CSSDCA, we're talking about statutory limitation to the tenure of public office holders and such revolutionary ideas that we wanted. For 10 long years, we pushed. Nobody listened. Obasanjo traveled the length and breadth of Africa and even development partners until he became president of Nigeria again in 1999. And by the time we were meeting in Lomé, Togo, for the OAU meeting, what had become AU then, AU, Assembly of Heads of State and Heads of Government, were able to pass a solemn declaration on the CSSDCA, which again was part of what facilitated creating ECOSOC and the rest of them to facilitate integration of civil society involvement in the African Union. The point I'm making is you look at the enormity of effort, the results. Even when you establish this thing,
do they function well?
They go in another direction. So, now you thought, this is it. If we can push this, then it flounders. It dies.
It's heartbreaking, though.
So you say to yourself, for how much longer
am I going to be doing
can
this?
You keep pushing this?
Especially when the power is not in your hands.
Your power is not. You will always be advisory. You're not the decision maker. The other guy who's taking the decision seeing things from a multiplicity of perspectives.
As someone said, it's complicated. When I was asking a special advisor this same question, I said, why is it that you people go in there and nothing comes? He said, it's complicated.
There's nothing complicated. See, I always say this, Shade.
Yeah.
Your ideological commitment shapes your worldview because it affects your values and everything.
Yeah.
These are, if you think Nigeria should be reorganized on this basis of legitimacy,
Yeah.
when you walk in and you're the man of the moment and everybody and his cousin comes with all manners of
And then
advices and caution,
and then you change your.
then that means you were never
fully,
ideologically committed.
Yeah, that's
it
true.
means in the first instance, you did not have the conviction.
Yeah.
No matter what happened.
No sincerity or purpose.
Yes. So, but when people tell me it's complicated, there is nothing complicated.
Well.
No, it's a choice.
Yeah.
Are you ready to do the hard work, the back-breaking work that is required to pursue a particular line, or you're ready to take shortcut? And because you have this retinue of people who are dangling low-hanging fruits.
Well, it could be called pragmatism.
Pragmatism, I understand.
Yeah.
To build this structure, you cannot be pragmatic. Because the original vision says 1 + 1 is 2. 2 × 2 is 4. So if you want to be pragmatic and you start to cut corners and you begin, what you will have.
It will be quite different from what you started out with.
And then what happened to the original vision? On what basis? It's true that you can amend and change and do, but you must never lose focus of the original design. When we decided, okay, let's do the just right thing, the options were A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, but no, this is the space. And so no matter what they give you, stay focused.
Yeah.
Because to lose focus is very easy. So when they tell you it's complicated, it's because in the first instance, as soon as you get there, you yourself begin to see things differently.
Yes. People change. People you thought you knew when they get into positions.
Change.
You think they were always like that?
They will see. You will only know the true character of a human being when power
gets into their hands.
It's into their hand. That's when you see. When he has money or he has power, that's when you will know. If she's a diva, you will see. Now that there's money and there's power, you will see. Yeah, but if this is a very humble, easygoing person, you will see.
Yes.
You know, he won't wear chips on his shoulder. He will go calmly among all of that noise.
Yeah.
I know a fellow. You wear nothing. Okay, you have a few coins that you know. And this guy has 6 mobile policemen following him.
What is that a statement?
Of course.
I'm just checking. Maybe he has enemies.
He has no.
He might have some serious enemies.
You have to show them that there is money.
Yeah. It's not to impress, it's to oppress.
To let them know that I'm not like before.
Yes.
This is new me. Omi tuntun ti ru.
So, I mean, before we drop this United States of Africa, because the thing is still eating me up. Is it now dead?
Well,
because I've heard of this new
after African free trade and all of that,
and also the PAPS payment systems, integrated payment systems.
You know, what do I see down the road? The way the villagization of the globe, as I say.
Okay, yes, global village, yes.
The villagization of the globe means that ultimately, whether mankind likes it or not, you're going to have like a world government.
Yeah.
You can't walk away from it. Look at it. Before, we were outside of the international financial system. They are integrating us. All of us are having numbers where, whether we like it or not, technology,
integration,
all manners of development, global forces will compel us to move in a particular direction.
Well, I mean, look what COVID showed.
Now,
if you think it was their problem, it suddenly entered your house.
Now they talk about the Ukraine war and Russia, and everybody and his cousin is feeling the effect. So, point is, we have a choice in our hands. Either we want to, determine how we will engage the rest of the world on our own terms, at least to try and get a reasonable space for ourselves, not to allow them to allocate the space to us. Yeah. And whether we want to engage as X, Y, or Z, it's up to us. But it will happen. They will compel us to move in a particular direction, whether we like it or not.
We need to create a platform for us to have some sort of strength when we're...
Otherwise
you're going to be on the table.
Just look at it this way. Tomorrow, China will summon the 50-something president. And they will go like primary school pupils.
With a begging bowl.
And the headmaster is talking to them like that.
Isn't that what they used to do for America and Europe?
The French will summon them. The British will summon everybody and his cousin. Why? Because to get the raw material they need to feed their engines and machines and whatever is here. You also have the human capital. Today, the British are coming here to raid.
Yes. Human beings.
Even up to teachers. Drivers.
I know.
Drivers, teachers.
Yes.
Nurses, doctors.
Everybody.
What does that tell you? You're going to have massive diaspora population, which could be a force for good or a force for ill.
Well, it may be for good for them, but also they might have... These guys will now dictate who's going to be head of them.
I had not been in Ethiopia in I don't know how many years, until last week or so.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And as I got down at Bole Airport, as we're driving out, I'm looking at the skyline in Addis. And I just could not believe it is. The transformation is phenomenal.
Wow.
And when I now...
But we don't hear that.
When I spoke to our people, they said all of this is diaspora. Because the Ethiopian government understood how to harness the diaspora as a force for transformation. So, things will happen. There will be a convergence of values. These jokers, no matter what they do, they can only delay the inevitable.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. It is not a question of if. It's a question of
timing.
When.
Yeah.
And for me, they will be shocked. We will win.
You're optimistic?
I am extremely optimistic.
From your mouth to the ears of God.
Yes, I tell you. Yes. We have no other choice than to have our optimism. Because to lose hope is to lose everything.
Yeah. That's right. But Nigeria used to be one of the happiest places, apparently. Now we're not happy anymore. What's going on? Our optimism is going.
See, in 1983, the Punisher came.
It was Abacha. I can't remember.
We used to buy essential commodity.
Yes, I remember. Essential commodities, yes.
When the Punisher left, another came. Things...
A little bit.
Again, the same pattern. He will go.
I don't know, but it's taking too long. And, I know people say things will change, but it's just that the devastation left behind before we get to that stage.
You see, never mistake the forest for the tree. The forest may look dark and intimidating, but there are so many beautiful trees in that forest.
Yeah.
That if you begin to see, ask yourself, 20 years ago, is this place a reality?
No, it wasn't, to be fair.
Ask yourself, if anybody told you that some of the things that you have in Nigeria today, you will have it, you will say it's not possible.
True.
20, 30 years ago. That everybody today has a phone. It may look small, insignificant. Today in my store, 70% of my sales payment is by card.
Wow.
And I am not in Lagos.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about your business model.
I am
It's
coming. I
fascinating.
am in the back of beyond.
Yes.
70% is card.
Wow.
A new Nigeria is going to emerge.
Yeah.
A new Nigeria is coming.
Are they all literate?
They don't.
Using
I
card.
sell to mechanics,
Yeah.
organizer, Okada driver, trader, name it.
But they're all using cards.
Regular folks.
Yeah.
Your average Joe. Those are the guys that I deal with. And they are being integrated
Into the formal economy.
So, and it's going to continue. And once it goes, certain things are inevitable. And by the time those things begin to emerge, you will see that the leadership recruitment process by itself will change. What are you talking about? Before, look at all those banks that you had before. They were sharing with it.
Right. Well, I know people who lost money with it. I mean, we all lost money.
Look at the size of banks you have today.
Yeah.
Look at the richest African is from Nigeria, and he didn't become rich by just opening the treasury and looting it.
Well, yeah. True.
You know,
True.
yeah. They didn't give him.
It's tangible.
You can see what he's doing.
Tangible. Yeah.
And like I've always told people, there's a new liberation army in town, and it is the Nigerian private sector.
Well, that's the only one we have.
They
the only thing we
will
have
liberate.
is the only thing we have.
They will liberate Nigeria.
Yeah.
And Aliko, as a commander of the cavalry,
We are the troops behind.
yes,
Yes.
the rest of us will line up behind
him.
He will be the commander of the cavalry. Because, see, the biggest problem confronting us here is poverty.
Yeah.
Poverty for me is like darkness. The antidote to darkness is light. What is the opposite of poverty is wealth creation.
And it's only the private sector who
That can create wealth. God bless you.
Governments just they take from you. They become like the mafia. You pay them to get out of the way.
Of course.
I mean, that's
because
terrible.
their job is most of the time to frustrate you.
It's just to come and collect and frustrate you.
So as it stands, my faith, my hope, my optimism in Nigeria is unshakable.
Well, thank you. I mean, I feel so much better because I just get so fed up with all the doom and gloom and nobody sees anything positive. And I'm saying, it ain't that bad.
Yeah, I've always told people, if you keep sending out negative thoughts,
that's what you get back.
That's what
yes.
you do. I see opportunities. I dragged my son out of he first went to Canada to study engineering, then he went to UK to study computer engineering. And I said, what? Come back home. There's opportunity here.
Yes.
He's back now. He has his own business, running his own thing.
Fantastic. He actually agreed to come back.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I dragged him because there is opportunity here. If all this jackpot they are doing, you see, in 1983, Andrew don't check out.
Yes.
99% of the Andrews that checked out, go and check. If they have been any better.
Well, compared to their mates who stayed back here.
The same thing will happen when the Punisher exits, you will see a different Nigeria. And the jackpots will begin to ask themselves, why did we make that mistake? You know?
So, why did you go into fast-moving consumer goods?
Okay, well, I think to appreciate it is to understand the story in itself.
Okay, this I must hear. This I must hear.
You know, in 1995, I went into exile.
Were you one of the Nadeco people?
I wasn't a Nadeco man. I was guilty by virtue of my association with President Obasanjo, or General Obasanjo as we used to call him. So I was to be arrested, so I left, and I was in Ghana for 3 years.
Okay, this is fine. No, go on. I'm loving this.
So I get to Ghana eventually. As at the time I was leaving for Ghana, my son was 4 months. My youngest son was 4 months old.
Wow.
My eldest was about 2 years old. So
good Lord, all of you left.
they came
and joined you
later
later.
and joined me in December. I left in October, first from Lagos to Ghana to Washington. Ghana to Germany, and then to Washington, and then eventually
Israelites.
Now, yeah, I mean, I there was a congressional hearing, so I had to make a presentation. Then I went to see President Helmut Schmidt in in Germany. Then I had to go to Königswinter, and so I was all over the place. So, but anyhow, my kids and my wife came, and then were staying.
Where were you based?
First, we were staying in Tema,
Ghana.
In Tema, Ghana.
Yeah.
Then later we moved to Jowulu in Accra.
Wow.
And then later to Swahili. By that time, we used to trek to some supermarkets in Osuden to buy basic groceries and all that. So when we came back to Nigeria in 1998, we were back in Ota. There was not really any serious grocery store in the whole of Ota. You had to go to this Chinedu and Sons provision store. And A, you won't get good quality. B, it's a question of haggling and whatever.
And it's potluck. You don't know what you're going to find there.
Yeah, and it's a lot of nonsense. So we used to drive to Ikeja.
To the supermarket.
Yeah, there's a supermarket then. I think it was M4, M1 on Allen Avenue or off Allen, like that.
All the way from Ota.
From Ota, and then we'll buy the grocery, and then we'll go to Pintos.
Yeah, to get misfired. Yes, I remember. Because I knew one girl that was working there.
So we'll finish that, and then we'll slug it back to Ota.
Gosh.
So we were doing that, and then one day, I don't know how the discussion started in the car. And why are we not selling? We should open an ice cream parlor. We should sell. If you're going to sell ice cream, you might as well sell Cocoa Pops. If you must sell Cocoa Pops, you must sell that. And then something like, why don't you start a supermarket?
Wow.
Abon.
Flashbulb.
So that night, before daybreak, the name Justrite.
It just came.
Yeah.
Who thought of it?
I don't know. Because it was me, my wife, my
and the children?
junior sister, my kids. I don't know what.
Oh my goodness.
As at that time, my wife was running a small boutique.
Yeah.
More trading from the boot of her car.
Nigerian women are just too much for me. They're so entrepreneurial.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So my job was get a location. And I remember, this is my friend. He used to live in Ota. He has this space. I remember. Then I went to check his still. So I went to meet him in Ilupeju. His name is Kuleola.
Wow.
So Kuleola, he was very enthusiastic.
This was like 24 hours later.
Yeah, he was very enthusiastic. Okay, he will give me the place. He even said he had a mosque that he has abandoned.
Who would have thought Ota would be somewhere where you'd get good tenants?
I could clean it up and then use it for additional storage. I could build additional storage behind it. Because the total space he was letting us is about 120 square meters.
No. That's a shop. That's just a little kiosk.
Yeah, just a little thing. Or some, maybe slightly more, I don't know. Can't remember. So, okay, we have the location. We have this.
How do you think of the product mix?
That first product mix, two, neither me, nor my wife, nor my sister-in-law, nor anybody had any clue
about retail
or what to do. But there's what I call the can-do spirit.
Yes.
Whatever the mind can conceive, it can achieve.
And then also, you guys are intelligent. You can research.
So we did all the research. But I must also say this: before I went into exile, my wife and I used to have a bulk breaking business.
Okay.
Where we'll buy in bulk
and then sell.
Sell to.
Okay. So you had
were like
that
a wholesaler.
Yes. Okay.
we'll get products from Nestle, from Cadbury, from this.
Distributorship, as they used to say in Nigeria,
Yes.
distributorship.
So we're doing
Yes,
that.
yes.
So now we knew, okay, to get this market, that market. Okay, what is it that somebody like you would want? And so we pulled all of that.
What was your customer profile?
We're looking at middle-level managers.
Okay.
And
Because
above
Otta had a lot of
factories. There are a lot of factories in Otta.
Yes.
Middle-level manager. And they want to buy a little bit of the good stuff.
Yeah.
Not
overpriced.
But reasonably priced.
Yeah.
But they don't want to buy the low end.
Yes.
You see, the truth, the first fallacy that you saw dominated the little weak retail that you had in Otta then is that because they think because people are poor, they want
get
poor
really
quality.
horrible stuff, yeah.
So what we did in our design from day one, for the first time you had a store with air condition.
Oh, in Otta, whoa.
For added effect, we put closed circuit TV.
Okay.
Cash register, and you get a plastic bag. You buy your stuff, we put it in a plastic bag with your cash, with your register.
That must have been amazing in 1990.
So we opened in 2000.
That was like Kingsway in Otta.
And of course, you get very good quality products
at a reasonable price.
Of course, if you didn't sell at a reasonable price, you will have to eat it yourself. So we put that, and within a relatively short period of time, the response was beautiful.
So was location everything?
Location.
Right.
1. 2, we gave people that which they wanted.
Okay, yeah.
They needed
You're meeting a particular need in the right location.
Exact, and there was a lot of
pent-up demand.
Yeah. So I think we opened December 2000. By 2001, February, Valentine.
Wow.
We were pushing, by 10 p.m., we were pushing people out of the store.
You're joking.
It was serious. Almost everybody was dropping on their feet.
Wow.
Because people had been standing, all the staff.
And people were just buying.
Endless.
What is it that sells the most? Because I know you now have bakery.
Today, number 1 is grocery.
Right.
Number 2 will be drinks. Number 3,
alcohol. Just drinks.
Drinks generally, alcohol and everything. Number 3 will be healthcare, body care.
Okay, yeah.
And then like that. And people want all this quality assurance.
Yeah.
You see, the most beautiful thing is that eventually, I met people who say to buy if you want anything you buy from Justrite is confirmed. In that local balance.
Yes.
Once they tell you, go to that place, it's confirmed. So now
you built up the trust
over time. Because now it took us, we were in that small cubicle for 6 long years.
Wow.
Because even though we had managed to raise money to buy land, we couldn't get capital to build.
That's it.
Let me go back.
Where do you get
Let me go back to the beginning. When we're even going to start that small thing, all I had was 1.1 million naira.
Wow. And how much of it would have gone on rent as well?
We paid rent, the guy who did the wooden shelf. Now,
baskets for holding
So now, there was an Igbo guy. Sometimes he had an issue. Long ago, he came to me. He's in Alaba, and I helped him and all that. So I sent for him. I said, now, my friend, I need a generator. I need air conditioner. I need closed circuit TV. I need a cash register.
And I have no money.
Yes. I said, my chairman, I'll do it for you.
Oh.
And there's a guy who wanted to sell a truck. I said, you know what? I'll give you 25%.
And the rest I'll pay later.
He said, no problem. The guy who gave us
Do you know, it's funny you say that because I have experienced it too. When people feel they can trust you, Nigeria, you don't need to write anything down. People will, because I remember when I was building, I didn't have money for the light fittings because those things cost a fortune.
Yeah, sure.
The plumbing, and I just leveled. I said, look, I don't have the money. I will pay you this in 6 months' time. Da, 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 da. And they looked at me, and they said, okay. I was shocked.
No, you see, again, Nigerians are, regardless of tribe or anything, we're very nice, great people.
Honestly.
Even
they look at you and they make a judgment.
If I start to tell you our experience with Justrite, it will shock you. We did all of that. We we paid everybody their money. For 6 years, we struggled we could not. So we were now trying to do it on our own, every little thing, my own consultancy, left, right, and center, running up and down.
Put it into there.
We're throwing it into building the first purpose-built store.
In Otta.
Even then, my wife thought I was being too ambitious. Here comes the dreamer. Joseph is flying up.
Why don't you just do what you're doing here?
That we just do something. So I pushed, and the day we opened that place, she was blown out of the water. It was amazing, the response.
Gosh.
Again, with that, you would think, go to the bank, they see your proceeds and all that.
So you hadn't borrowed to build that first one?
We needed, we could only complete the ground floor.
The ground floor, yes. Do you leave that until later?
I had a friend then who was working with Spring Bank. I'd been begging and saying, get me money. The day I opened that ground floor and they saw, the next day they gave me 30 million.
When you had done the bulk of the work.
So to finish that ground floor, this guy, Larry Yonda, he was branch manager of ETB, gave us a loan of 10 million naira.
Wow.
So that's what enabled us to finish.
The building and equip it.
And equip, and even then. Again, and that's how, even then when we started, when we were doing the Otta one and it's going on, it took us again 6 long years to build the second store.
Good Lord. Now you have 18?
So for 12 years.
So in acquiring this thing, okay, you've got money. What about getting land? Because that is something else in Nigeria. That is something else.
You know, acquiring land
and getting title and then getting possession.
I'm glad you understand the dynamics of the transaction.
Goodness.
You know, I use a language that they say is confirmed. When we bought the land for the second branch, which is Abule Egba, and
Abule
Egba is another suburb after Agege and all of that.
One thing these your locations have in common.
Well,
population density.
High density. Low to middle income group.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
your business strategy.
That's where I go.
Okay.
You'll never find me in Ikeja,
in Ikoyi,
Banana Island.
He doesn't want it. Okay, so
I have nothing to sell here.
No.
Now, when we got that land, I asked, who is the chief of the area boys here?
No, you're joking.
I'm not.
In Abule, but you look for area boys.
Yes, I went to the chief
of the capo, the tutti capo.
Yeah. So when I went to him, I said, I understand you are in charge of this neighborhood. He said, yes. I said, okay. You see that land is mine. I said, what do you want to do there? I said, it's just like, congratulations to Abule Egba. If anybody, that anything I buy from that place is confirmed. He said, you come. Last week when we were going to have party, did I not tell you to chat Okada and go to the place?
Just right.
From Abule Egba to Otta.
Wow.
They were
the chief of area boy went to Otta.
So I sat in his office with him.
What, to negotiate?
If you don't do that, you cannot do anything on that land.
What?
Yes, trust me. In those neighborhoods that I operate, you gotta be in bed with them.
Sorry, hold on. You have your title, you're running your business.
Forget that one. You have approval, but you will not build that thing if you don't lock him in.
So is that like the mafia?
It's not a mafia. See, what will happen?
It's respect.
It's not. See, what will happen if you didn't go to him? As soon as you start, you just find these hoodlums come. They will disturb your workers, harass them.
That's mafios.
You know.
That's protection.
They will not allow them to work. Then you have a choice. You can bring in the police. There's a guy
worth anything.
No, you
have to put them in on the.
There's a guy that did it. He's soon a soldier. He was building a duplex.
Yeah, he brought police.
No, he brought it. Soldier boys. They came the day they were doing the concrete roof, the decking. They took the area boys, punished them. Okay, no problem. He finished. They allowed him to finish his thing. You know, you need time to cure.
Yeah.
So for 21 days or so.
Yes.
I think about the third or fourth day after they did the election, these boys came in the middle of the night and removed all the props.
Yay.
And of course, all of them disappeared from the neighborhood. So what are you going to do?
God.
Who are you going to arrest?
So you were preempting.
Of course.
But how did you know to do that? Though?
Oh, my friend.
You are rugged. You are rugged.
What are you talking about? I'm a native. I'm not there. If I don't understand, you want to operate in this environment and you don't know this environment, you don't understand the power structure, and you don't know to assign weight to all the power centers, and you think because you can speak English language
or you have the cash,
it's not about money. See, when we went to Yanokwaja,
you are Yanokwaja?
When we left, we finished Abule, but the next we're working on this property in Yanokwaja, and then they came with the chief of the area boss.
Again?
Yes, and so I told him, my friend, get out. Big mistake.
You're going to kill me.
So they left us. They went to sit across the road. About a dozen of them.
Watching you.
Every day they will sit there. One day, so my mobile police.
Oh, you had?
I had mobile police. So I think the mobile policemen, I don't know wherever they went.
Maybe they've been told to go somewhere.
These boys ran across the street, grabbed one of the artisans walking. They didn't beat him. 6 people were biting him.
No, you're joking.
I'm not. But they were biting him.
Oh.
By the time the boy was rescued, I said, okay. So I sent for the...
How did you rescue him?
The police came and so I sent for the...
Chief of the area?
When he came. I said, no.
Your business partner.
No, this was a different person now.
Oh, okay.
So he said, no.
It's not me.
He's not going to come. You're a big man. You can't be speaking to...
You can't be coming to somebody like me.
Calm down.
Calm down.
So he said, okay, you come to see me in my office. When he came, when he came into my office, I said, let's talk. He said, no, I should come. He wants to show me something. Took me out. He showed me his Range Rover.
Like he too. I'm a big boy.
No, he said he's not a poor man. That is not hustling me.
So what was he doing? Showing you?
No. He said, this is how much you pay. Kache walai. Yes. The girlfriend. This boy is a stark illiterate. His girlfriend is a 200 level student from University of Lagos speaking impeccable English.
Look at my mouth. So that's his own day job. So you paid?
Of course.
Did you negotiate?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I will handle him. No, I will handle him. I'm like, Abba. Calm down, sit down, relax. Don't let's talk money yet. Let's
be friends.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
So so he's.
So you were feeling each other out.
No, he's showing me his network. He has access to DIG. He has this. He has that. I'm looking at him, and he has finished. I said, "Okay, that's all right. It's not a problem." Okay, listen, I want them to do that thing. I don't want any disruption. I said, calm down. He said, there are 5 zones. He has to do that. I said, calm, relax. Okay, so we came to some kind of understanding.
And this is what you have to do every time.
Everywhere I go.
How do you... Anyway, you obviously do it. You do a good job. I can't believe this.
It's tough.
Yes.
I went to one place. I said, who is there? They said the guy's name is Scatter.
Scatter. So the chief of the area boys there is called
Scatter.
Scatter.
Yeah, another one is Protocol.
So this is a reality of doing business.
Yes. If you really want to operate in certain areas, at certain levels,
and you're going to be there every day, so you can't even afford.
And now let me also show you the flip side. You build relationship with the community itself and all that. We ripped it, the strength of our brand during COVID. In Ogolonto, where we have our biggest branch, in Ikorodu, when the Majidun boys came and said they wanted to burn down, attack Justrite, it was the Ogolonto people that rose. Oh. And for 3 days, they fought them to stand still.
Wow.
In Bariga, the area boys they breached the store, went in and started looting. The neighborhood boys came and chased them out, went after some of them, retrieved TV sets.
Wow.
Indomie, I don't know what. They retrieved it and brought it back. Generator.
So do you do like community development?
Yes, we have means of engaging with them. Plus, most of the places we go, the community, they take ownership of the store. Oh. It is our store. Like the Ogolonto boys said, this is our own pride and glory. You cannot touch it.
You can't bring down our society.
It's not coming down. And so they
get jobs, they get...
so many things and all of it. You know, people identify also with you. Yeah. You're not... Again, that's why I said today, I am not in the business of a supermarket. No, that's not what I do. What is my value proposition? I help people to meet their aspirations. They want what you guys in Banana Island want. Only they want it to be affordable. Yeah. So my job is to make it available and affordable.
Affordable for them.
It's a simple thing, and then they can key into it.
And there's a lot of purchasing power in those communities.
It's huge.
Gosh. You said your Ikorodu branch is there.
It's 2,500 square meters of shop floor.
Whoa. Yeah. And average turnover?
Oh, it's beautiful.
You're not telling me. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's good. Now, do you think you could have had this traction if you hadn't started? Had the same traction if you hadn't started in Otta? So quickly.
I doubt. You see, well, Nigeria is a big economy.
Yeah.
The size
especially for groceries and stuff like that.
The size of the Nigerian market is massive. The opportunities are huge.
But the wahala today plenty.
Yeah, but the point is, if you start in a place like here, Ikoyi, they are extremely snobbish
and choosy,
and then I saw it in
Dubai duty free.
What's the name of Tesco? I saw it Tesco.
Oh, Waitrose, not Tesco.
Waitrose or whatever. It's £3. So
let's do the conversion.
And how much are they selling it? I don't want to.
I don't have the time. You don't have the bandwidth for that nonsense.
Those swans, and they're not going to buy much really at the end of the day. But my guys, when they walk in, when it's Black Friday, they fill the trolleys.
Wow.
There's no...
So you're doing Black Friday in Ikorodu?
Everywhere.
Oh my goodness.
You know where you find us Gudugba, Yanokpaja, Abule Egba, Dokpemu, Gowan Estate, Ayobo.
So how do you pick? So you just look at the map and you what?
At the onset, it was a little bit of instincts, and you keep studying and all of that. But today, it's data-driven.
Wow. Okay.
It's purely
so where do you get your data from?
Oh, I pay heavy for research and all of that. I can show you the purchasing power
of each demographic.
Yes.
Wow.
What goes on anywhere, I can tell you that, okay, if I'm going to this place, this is what...
So that kind of data is available in Nigeria?
Oh, yes. If you seek, ye shall find.
Yes. So you know those who have the areas and what they're buying and stuff?
Oh, sure. I'll show you something.
Wow, please.
Okay. Friday ECMD corridor. The market in 5 days is 113 billion.
No.
Yes. Because Pangrove bus stop area and all that, total household there is 93,664. Average household size is 3.8. Yeah. So population 60 plus is 22,000. 15 to 59 is 228,000. 0 to 14 is 108,000. So total population in that neck of the wood is 358,000.
Gosh. And there are lots of schools and things there.
So that's the kind
of area you're looking for
that I use. So when I'm sitting down, that's what informs the decision. It's not knee-jerk reaction.
No, not anymore. Not instinct anymore.
No. There's a limit to, I call it egori. You can start with egori, but,
yes, but
when
to
it gets
make
to a
progress,
particular level,
you need your data.
You need data.
Okay. Now, the other thing that's really impressed me is your use of, or your operations management. There's a use of data, but also the computerization.
Yes.
How did you get it?
You know,
how do you get that?
Again, from day one, we're very clear. You see, I told you we're using cash register.
Yes.
We didn't need to make that investment. We could have been writing receipts, the typical...
Yeah, the receipts are used. Oh, God.
So you put that...
Carbon copy.
You put closed circuit TV.
Yeah.
You put air conditioner. What exactly are you doing? You're defining your future projection from start. And the same thing about technology, because immediately after we started, okay, we see that sales has gone beyond a particular level. Even in that small, we had a software. We had an ERP.
Wow. Was that written specially for you or you bought off the shelf?
No, there's a guy who did it locally.
Wow.
By the time we opened that first purpose built one, we had to now buy another software out of Spain. Wow. They had a local rep here.
Because you had outgrown.
Oh, long ago. They had a local rep here who now gave us this one. Now,
so do you integrate all the stores now?
Every transaction is live.
Wow. So you know what you have in the store, what remains?
You are in total control of your inventory.
Good Lord.
It's expensive.
It must be.
Very expensive.
But then also you're going to make it back in, at least in the, that data, that loss. There's what do they call it?
Shrinkage.
Shrinkage, yeah.
You must be clear about your vision.
Yeah.
And that's why I told you, even when we didn't have money, even when it was convenient not to have a standard, you put the marker on the table.
Yeah.
I will not go below this.
Okay, so should you and I do a business case for Lagos Business School? Have they used your company yet? Because I think this is amazing. What you manage, it's not just the fact of the number of stores, but the thought behind it, the projection and the achievement where you are, even the people management, the community management, the area boy management.
It's again, I mean, okay. Yesterday, somebody was showing me that they say game is leaving Nigeria because of government policy. I'm like, all of us are in that sector.
Yeah.
They are even much more favored than we, local, indigenous. The government gives them all manners of concession under the guise of foreign direct investment. If you land in Itro as you're going towards immigration, they have all these things. I remember, I don't know if they still have it there now. Never underestimate the power of
local knowledge. Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. But I've seen that even in banking, those who came in with big ideas without actually using the local knowledge that they had. I mean, you bring in something, but respect what is there.
Yeah, because a lot of people are not ready to put in the hard work. It's back-breaking.
It's also leg work.
There's leg work.
Yeah.
There is...
Because you have to walk the walk.
If there's one thing I learned from General Obasanjo, is the humility to recognize everybody for
their strengths. That's great.
And to know that if is this your security man,
he has expertise that I don't have.
I'm going to.
He has local knowledge.
I will go. I have no problem.
Yeah.
Uncle, come now.
Let's talk.
Yeah. I will go to his house. I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
I have no stress because he could become a critical success factor.
Yeah.
So you don't, and that, I mean, General Obasanjo told me one story. During the time of import license.
Oh yes. Oh God, yes.
Now he applied for import license, even though his childhood friend, was Minister of Finance. Yeah. His man, Buhari, was president. They didn't give him the thing. They said his permanent secretary. They said, okay, they should go and find out the address, the home address of the permanent secretary. So when it was 9 p.m.
at night,
Obasanjo went to his house with his mat and a pillow and torchlight and cover cloth. That was a U.S. Let's go down. Obasanjo put his mat there, put pillow. Was any problems like that? Where? I applied for him, but they say you are the one holding. Well, since you want me to die, I will now be sleeping in your house until I get my police. That was begging. The wife was begging.
No, but I hear what you mean.
The next morning, they gave him his license.
I'm learning. I'm learning that, and I think it's so important.
That's to say, when they went to Jesus, should we pay tax?
Render unto Caesar
what belongs to Caesar. I call it serpentine wisdom.
Okay.
He said, I am sending you into the world as lamb among wolves. Be as wise as the serpent and as meek as the lamb.
Yeah, that's clever.
You must understand it. You must have the capacity to hear the dew fall on the grass in the morning. Otherwise,
gosh,
if you are not doing startup, if you are not growing your business organically, of course you can. Let's say, for instance, somebody is bringing $200 million. We just buy this, bring consultants from America, and then.
But they leave after 5 years or something. They always do.
Of course, now you come here. You are operating on assumptions.
Yes.
And 99% of those assumptions are very wrong.
They're wrong. Yeah.
But the person, when we say, I borrow money from bank.
Yes. 21%. Was it 21?
21 is very good. We've borrowed at 29. Yay. We've borrowed at 30.
Yay! How can you run a business like
that? Do you have money?
No. I know. But that's crap.
Who was I talking to that said, okay, it's a junior friend of mine who says he has borrowed at 60.
What? How do businesses grow?
I'll tell you. I'm involved in some kind of negotiation. So one day I came home and I showed the offer and whatever to my son. He looked at me. He looked at it and said, sorry, your business is a victim of geography.
And that was his last word on it.
Do you know, I shrank.
Yeah.
I was so small. It dismissed you that you are doing this kakandu. 99% of the problem is because of your location.
Yeah.
Whereas, I told you now what happened in Addis.
Yeah.
Do you know, part of what they said is the government will allocate land to the diaspora. If you brought in $1 million, they will match it with matching funds, give you at a good rate. No, Nigerians will do.
No,
See,
the government.
but they will not. The moment government has that policy, the minister will corner. This one will corner, and then it's only
in fact, they'll even frustrate you with the land. I know people who
relatives
have sent money.
alone
relatives
that will do,
yeah.
and they will not. And most of them are too skeptical. All they want is booty. The transformative capacity of the private sector is huge. It's massive. Just tap into all that creative energy, and you will be amazed. If this all of this estate now, they had asked government to come and build it, you won't achieve anything. But once you give private sector reign, you give them space, you will be amazed. People will mobilize resources.
So are we all inherently just selfish? That's the bottom line.
We're not. See, we're all rational economic agents.
Yeah.
Where you don't ask me to be an angel. I'm not an angel. God kept angels with him.
Yeah, but I should have a bit of a conscience.
It would be nice for you to have a conscience.
No, it's not nice. It's a prerequisite for us to be decent humans.
Excuse me. Thomas Hobbes looked at man in the state of nature and said man in the state of nature was solitary, nasty, brutish, and short.
I don't want to believe that.
This is what Thomas Hobbes. That's why he said you need the Leviathan.
Yeah.
Now, what is missing is people misbehave and there are no consequences.
No sanctions. Yeah.
I'm not asking you not to misbehave.
Yeah.
Put it in there.
Misbehave a little bit.
If you do, let the system
work.
Correct you.
Yeah.
No, the system will correct you.
No, not our system does not correct.
Yeah, that exactly is my point. It is the culture of impunity that has led to all of this thing. If you deal with it, Nigerians who are lying.
Yeah, I know.
Nigerians are more obedient than the Italians.
I don't understand it.
If you go to Napoli, you see the way these people behave. You will be shocked that Nigerians are 101 times.
I mean, in any other country, they would have gone on riots. I mean, I just
because see, the resilience of the Nigerian is different.
It's too much.
And because he is the master of hope, that tomorrow is to be better.
God will make it better. Yeah.
And now,
the opium of the masses.
But it's the only thing that enables them to deal with the harsh reality.
To get up in the morning
and do what they want to do.
So tell me.
Yes.
Succession planning?
Well, succession planning, first thing that we are doing now, we're investing hugely now in human capital development.
Yeah.
Again, I'll tell you this deliberately. Once we're going to have the second stop, we changed our recruitment policy totally.
Okay.
We flooded the shop floor purely with university graduates.
Okay.
Instead of putting secondary school it will be cheaper. Now, those ones were more expensive, but we were already building for tomorrow and the day after. As I tell you today, we never recruit managers from outside.
Wow.
Never. All our managers are from within.
So they see a pathway and they see a growth.
Yes, because there is no academy for retail studies in Nigeria. So they come with no experience. So here they need to understand the thing.
Do you have a formal training process?
Yes, of course. Massive, intensive. A lot of the other big stores come to poach.
Wow.
Yeah, because our managers are very well trained and they're very competent.
Yeah.
And we have SOPs.
Online training?
No, the physical training.
Okay. And then standard operating procedures?
Yeah, we have standard operating procedures, everything. You know what to do or what is expected of you.
Who wrote that up for you?
We developed all of that.
By yourself?
Yes.
Wow. You didn't get a consultant?
No, which consultant?
You were the consultant?
All of us are the consultants.
You're all consultants?
All of us are consultants. What kind of thing is this?
So even if you got run over by a bus tomorrow, God forbid.
It will continue.
Continue.
I don't get involved in operations. I don't do operations. I'm a strategy person, fundraiser, identify locations,
area boy manager.
That's my job. When I follow them on procurement trip, I'm just a
It's fun. You're enjoying your
back carrier. I will follow my wife. We say, okay, pay this, meet me the other side. Yes, I will. Yes, ma'am. From morning till night for the next 10 days.
Yeah.
I'm just.
But you're behind the scenes.
Mine is to this. We're moving this way. We're going this, and
you really should write a book. It will be a good business school book.
Yeah,
especially for Nigeria, because we're always reading my Porter.
I know.
We haven't got one for Nigeria.
The jury is still out.
No, please.
When we cross, when we cross a particular threshold.
So you had second volume now.
No,
supplement.
When we cross a particular threshold,
please,
I'll feel sufficiently confident that we should try and say, okay, we should do something. Actually, I've been talking to Professor Larry Bale, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Business School of Netherlands, Nigeria.
Yes. They've grown.
Oh, yes.
Massively.
Oh, yes. I started.
I know you started it.
And so, again, no money. 21 email and 2 computers.
The amazing thing is that if you hadn't been frustrated in that political science, public sector thing, would all these parts of you have evolved?
No, but I've always been I was a social entrepreneur.
I know. A social entrepreneur, but you would not have gone into wholly private sector.
No, I would still be pushing that. Let me tell you this. For instance, I sat down and I said to create sustainability for the Africa Leadership Forum. We needed to have an international conference center with hotel and and the revenue. And the revenue from that
will fund
at least the administrative overhead. Then you can then raise money for.
Yes. So you're not writing projects to fund your day-to-day admin.
And I didn't have 1 naira to put on the table. Myself and General Obasanjo, he provided the money. I bought that land before he went to jail. So when I came back,
BJ before jail. After jail.
Then I came back from exile and all that, and I woke up one day and I said, I can't build this thing. So I got somebody to do the design, So I went shopping. Finally, I found Amak Engineering. Kehinde Amadu. So I spoke with him, he was introduced, and I said, listen, can you pre-finance this thing?
Wow.
So, we had signed the agreement, development cost. He agreed to build it.
Your mouth's sweet too. How do you convince all these people to do all this thing? Your mouth is sweet.
Now my jujuma cost so for me.
I think I need to invest in that jujuma. Forget about business.
It will cost you money. So
good investment.
He did it. He built. We did the fundraising. The launching. People came, made pledges, and then what? They will not pay.
Now, that's so depressing.
So I like it when my back is against the wall.
Yeah.
So I started on manners of madness, insanity, but I had a team. Those boys at times were going without salary. At times I was using money from my Justrite to pay salary. My staff at times would go and they were working 7 days a week and nobody raised an eyebrow. Then eventually we got some funds, project funds, this. We had all manners of projects coming in, then saving money.
But you had to have that initial.
So eventually we paid him off.
Wow.
Paid off his money, we borrowed money.
He had faith.
Oh yes. If there's one thing, I've told you the can-do spirit. For me, if you knock me down 7 times, I'm going to get up 9 times.
In that Niger spirit, I swear.
I'm not going down. So there's no other choice.
Yeah.
So you are fighting naked. So at that point, there's nothing. It's brass knuckles. You are bare knuckles. So it's nothing. There's no cushion, nothing.
Do you think your children, because somebody's saying that our children don't have this Shangri spirit?
No, they have. My second son, I shipped him off. He got a scholarship to South Korea at the age of 14.
Whoa. I remember, and I was saying, you're brave.
Yeah.
And no language.
Nothing. Even the cuisine alone and everything.
Yeah.
And he's a foodie. When I told him, I said, my wife said, he can't go. So I said, come, you have this glorious opportunity. You get this scholarship from age of 14 to your PhD level.
Wow.
You want to throw it away? You're in SS1 first time. He says, Dad, let me go. If I fail.
Wow. I can come back.
Yeah.
That was brave.
I said you will not fail, I know that, except you're not my son.
Pressure.
No, it's not. I told him it's not an option to take it off the table. It's not an option. So take it off the table. Break your back.
Come back with that PhD.
Yes. Rounding it up now.
Oh my goodness.
He's been there.
From your mouth, I beg, speak to me or speak my future.
No.
Whatever you say, you
because it's I know it's in him.
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
See it. Yeah.
He's brilliant. He's focused. Good. He's focused. I know him. And so what's your excuse, man?
Yeah. The people doing it, do they have two heads?
They don't have two. They took 17 of them from all over the world. He was the only one from Africa.
Wow.
The first African to be admitted to the Korean Science Academy.
Wow.
So he was the only, in the entire Korean Science Academy, is the only
black
person.
How did he cope?
He was never conscious of it.
Fantastic.
And he also has his own wicked sense of humor, because one day I was talking to him when he was, once you are in the final year in the Science Academy, because of the nature of their society, once a final year student is coming, every other student will start to bow.
No.
And I'm saying, yo.
God,
and I'm
respect.
Saying, yeah. So he says, first, before he leaves the class, he will go up and check, where are they plenty?
So he can now walk in front of
So he will now walk, and he said that, and they're very short. He will now walk. He will now put his face.
Naija boy. Oh, that's awesome.
Again, it's always that once you train your mind that I am not going home naked. They say this man carry my clothes. I will show you that there's something bigger than madness. Something stronger than madness. I will show you. I will collect my clothes from you.
So, okay, this is the bit that I really like. What remains for you to do now? What's the last thing on your bucket list now? What's the one thing that you say, okay, I want to do this. That's the one thing I still want to do.
Today, frankly, I'm hoping that I can mobilize the human and the material resources to help young entrepreneurs.
Right.
Provide business support for them. I started it
as a foundation?
Like a foundation.
Okay, right.
I started it already this year.
Okay, how exciting.
3 young ladies were selected out of about 150.
A bit like Dragon's Den or something like that?
No,
how do they
you tell us about your business, what you're doing, what are the potentials, possibilities, And
I can see you on Lions Den. You got the brains for that.
Maybe. What we did is, take the first person, I think we gave 1.5 million. Then, today, they've linked that to some company in South Africa. I think she probably will export whatever she's doing
fantastic.
there. The other one, too, is getting another link or support. But for me, the revelation...
So you mentor them?
Yeah. The revelation at that, when we had... Because after they've done the selection, then we'll come for one day meeting where the winners are announced and all that. We invited a lot of other young people to come. The revelation was not in the guys who won.
It
was these
the possibilities.
Fellows
They're
who came.
seeing the possibilities.
One young lady stood up. Said, I'm a born-again Christian. My parents are this. I'm sorry. People, they make me feel like I have the spirit of covetousness because I like money. I like to do business. I like to make money. But everybody makes it appear like I'm a very covetous person. And they even begin to, I don't like to spend the money. I want to turn it around. And then they say I'm very stingy. I'm not very useful. I'm very... So she went, like, what do you think? They're good enough. There was a senior pastor from either Redeem or Deeper Life.
On the panel?
No, in the audience.
On the audience, yeah.
He first responded, broke down the scriptural part.
So you remove that part from your problems.
Another person spoke. Then finally my wife at the MD said, okay, come. I mentor you, come under my wing.
Oh.
Last month, one of the panelists who's based in South Africa, brought $600 for her.
Wow.
So take to enhance your business. So those kinds
Yeah,
of
that is so rewarding.
little.
Yeah.
If I can continue to do reach out to as many of these little guys and say, listen, you can have a chance.
Yeah.
And you know,
and have faith in yourself. Give them the tools.
You know, for me, it's not really a new thing. In 1991, I sat down, looked at Nigeria, and I said, there's a problem down the road. That unemployment is going to become massive. So I started what I call the Junior Business Seminar.
Okay.
It was a 1-week intensive immersion. What I used to do then is to take final year students of universities and polytechnic.
Right.
I could write to Unilag and say, Faculty of Social Science, give me your best two.
Yeah.
Maybe in Ibadan, I'll write to arts and say, give me average. In science, give me this.
Yeah.
So they will nominate from all these people. We'll bring them for 1 week. Bring people to talk to them about the opportunities for private initiative in the economy, how to write business plan, how to spot business opportunity, how to, do all manners of things. And it was supported by the Friedrich Naumann Foundation then.
Okay.
They provided massive, it became one of their best things because they repeated it in Ghana, in Cote d'Ivoire. We took it also to Kenya, I think. You know, that is the kind of thing that if I could fine-tune, if I could be able to do that.
To make it into a formal thing.
Yeah. Then if God's willing, I can get the money to, I really want to build a children's hospital.
Why a children's hospital, not a hospital?
Okay. When I was born, I had problem with my leg. But because I was born in the Catholic hospital and all of that, and so they were able to deal with that. So you ask yourself.
There, but for the love of God.
I mean, you can imagine 1962 in Oshogo,
Catholics were heavy there.
The Catholics generally are like that.
They did the carpentry,
everything.
Stuff.
The Catholic, everywhere they go. So for me,
they really did try.
It will be one.
It
will be one thing that I really would like to do.
Yeah.
Build a nice, good children's hospital, purely for children. Maybe
in some of those Abule Egba areas.
Yeah, somewhere
that's
there.
That's where it's needed, to be honest.
Somewhere there, and to be able to come up with a funding mechanism for sustainability and all of that. And I'm pretty sure by the time we put a lot of people together, we'll find the framework, the management framework for it. And then if you do that, and finally you're able to, if I can achieve the dream of visiting every country in the world.
Okay. So if we're doing ranking them, the first one is to do that business thing for young people.
Sure. Yeah.
Second one, children's hospital.
Yeah.
And then
the third one,
something for yourself.
Yeah, just go around.
Jolly, go on a jolly.
Yeah, just to
tick them off.
Okay.
So this is what they're talking about.
You have some interesting places.
Yeah. Name one place you've really gone to that you haven't been.
Australia.
Okay, that's a 2-day.
I just want to Australia and New Zealand because I want to see the Aborigines.
Oh, you want to see your brother?
Yes, I want to go to Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want
Solomon Islands.
Yes, I want to go to all those really back of beyond.
Yeah.
That you're totally down on that.
Yes.
This is how the sun sets on the other side of the river.
Okay. Now, Sunday morning church or chill?
Sunday morning church.
Oh.
Otherwise,
Redeemed.
No, I'm Catholic.
Oh, you're Catholic. Oh, you're very into your Catholic.
I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
But if I don't go to church, my wife will cut my hair.
Okay. This your business model. What would you have done differently, knowing what you know now?
Well, maybe I will have. I wish I could have raised funds faster.
Okay. Borrowed faster.
Yeah, borrowed more and grown faster.
Not be so cautious at the beginning.
No, I wasn't cautious. I just didn't have the money. I'm very bullish.
Yeah.
I am very bullish. I have this thing that I know it.
That if you throw your heart to it, you will get it.
It will come.
Yeah, it will
But
come.
I just couldn't navigate my way out of the forest.
So you couldn't have done anything different, really.
Even then, well, maybe, because even then I went to friends and said, okay, you know what? Why don't you put a stake? But thank God they did not.
I was going to say that one has. It's when you're successful that the problem, even on your way to being successful.
Yeah, because,
It's
you know,
hard.
I'll tell you, the bane of partnerships is lack of knowledge on the part of all the parties concerned. What I know today, if I'm going to go into I have no problem going to partnership with people today.
Because you have walked the walk. You know what is involved in making a successful organization.
And then, if I'm saying come, first there will be the heads of agreement.
Yeah.
This is it. Then there will be the definitive agreement in itself. So where the powers and responsibility and everything is defined to the T.
But sometimes you don't even know what needs defining. Now you do.
That's what I'm saying, that knowing what I know today, partnership would be easy. Because again, you could go to the other guy and say, you know what, this business can be this is A, this is B, this is C. That's why I said if I had been slightly more creative, because if I knew what I knew now, then maybe one or two of these other guys I could have said, listen, see, in 5 years' time,
I will be here.
This is what you'll get in 5 years' time. It probably would have been easier to sell rather than trust my instinct.
Yeah, I guess.
And then, or you even go to the banks.
Those ones.
You know, you go to the banks, they're looking at you like.
But usually they make a valid judgment on you, though.
Yes.
It's not the business.
No.
It's
Actually, the first major loan that we got, the 300 million naira from Wema Bank, was purely based on my character. It wasn't so much about the business.
Yeah. No matter how good the business is, if the character is not good, you won't even give them the money. You chop it.
And again, what was instructive, I didn't know anybody in Wema other than the branch manager in Ota.
Yeah.
He befriended me over 2 years. Apparently, he was profiling me. He will come, we will talk about this, that.
He was measuring you out.
So he was very now clear about who I was.
Dealing with. Okay. Yeah.
So when he was making his proposal, it was heavy, and and all the time that I was telling my wife, okay, I've even started Wema called Wema. My friend, go and sit down. This is how you allow them to be tossing you. I said, okay. So the day the offer letter came, Dave, both were screaming. And the beautiful thing, we're supposed to pay back in 4 years. We paid down in 2 years.
Wow.
The MD of Wema Bank drove to my office in Nota. I put 1 billion naira on the table.
Oh yeah. What's your next project? We're ready.
Take.
Yes.
1 billion naira on the table.
No, because they know you are reliable, your business is sustainable.
Shadi, was it this year? I mean, last year was the first time we went to play golf in Shagam for the new chairman of Lafarge.
Yeah.
So my friend was now introducing me, chairman, this is Aderinwale, chairman of Justrite. I said, you look at you. I said, for the last 10 years, I've been the chairman of the Wema Board Credit Committee. I've been the one approving all
your loans, but you never met him.
Never in
There was
my
no
life.
need to.
I will say it anywhere in the world. I never, ever, no Wema Bank official ever asked me for one shishi or did nothing. I didn't.
But if you're running a decent business in Nigeria, I
but-
still think it's possible to do this without giving bribes.
Yeah, because, but a lot of our entrepreneurs and people outside will demonize the bankers.
Yeah.
Nobody tells a
I have
positive
never
story.
paid anybody.
See, that's what I also say, that when you hear the doom and the gloom,
Yeah.
nobody sees
They're good.
There's a clip going around now about some driver who returned $60,000. I don't know how many £1,000 and Naira cash left in his car. Yes. Left in his car. Yeah. He took it to a TV station.
Wow.
Because he can't remember the man. He doesn't know. And the man
They're good people.
Is wretched.
Oh. So what are you reading at the moment? Because I know you're a reader.
A brief history of mankind, Homo sapien.
Oh, who wrote that?
I can't remember his name now. But
it's fantastic.
Oh, you have to.
Is it a scientific book?
It's not a scientific book per se. It's just giving you the base. I mean, how man evolved.
Right.
You know, Sapiens, a brief history of humankind.
Yeah.
By Yuval Noah Harari. Sapiens. Okay. You would love it.
Okay.
You would understand. I mean, this guy is a brilliant, fantastic writer. Really good.
Because it's a heavy subject, but to make it readable, is a gift.
It's to make it compelling that you cannot even drop it.
Yeah.
The way, very complex issues, the way he breaks it down.
Wow, okay. I'm on it. And what are you listening to? What's your current favorite song?
I'm back to listening to Sonny.
Sonny Ade. Okay, which is your favorite one?
Muberagba.
That is so good. Oh, yes. But those guitar riffs are just amazing.
Sonny, Obey is good.
Yeah. What is the philosophy of Obey?
I like his own philosophy and all that. But Sonny is my guy. He's my go-to guy. Yeah. I just love his music.
He's from your side now.
No, he's Ondo.
Ondo, yes. Okay, Shogo, yes. Okay. Are you watching anything on DSTV or Netflix?
I don't have talent. I used to, and I used to be the fellow who sit and watch, particularly Nigerian movies, because I have a lot of critique and that.
You tell them they should have done this, they should have done.
Yeah, I mean, but
no.
These days, after 5 minutes,
you fall asleep. Yes, no bandwidth. Okay, now describe yourself in 3 words.
Crazy dreamer, driver.
You're crazy, you're a dreamer,
I'm a driver.
And you're a mega driver. I know. You are a driver.
I know.
That's good.
I drive myself, I know.
Gosh.
I break my own legs.
Yeah.
And so when I ask you to do.
You're not asking what you yourself are not prepared to do.
No.
Yeah. And I think that's where you get the respect and the commitment from the staff. Because you're doing it. You're walking the walk. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing you're asking them to do that you're not prepared to do.
What have we not done? In those days in Africa Leadership Forum in 1988, myself and Ayo Aderinwale were the technicians servicing the photocopy machine.
Is it like?
Yes. What did we not do?
Yes.
We buy cardboard. When we finished Farmhouse Dialogue, when we do the report, we print, we photocopy it, then we cut the cardboard, we bind it, I put it in an envelope. This is my wife. Then, if she comes to see me, she will help us to be putting it in an envelope. And when she's going back to
she'll
school,
deliver it.
she's the one helping us to deliver.
Oh,
so
you really should write a book, honestly.
So I come from there.
That's you're a doer. You're good at writing and doing out the projects and presenting the manuals, but you actually do it.
Yes, I can.
And that makes a difference. That's a difference. A lot of these people who write papers, they're not people who implement.
Yeah.
They're not able to implement.
They cannot. No. You see, I think it's Professor Okebukola was telling me that what he admires most is my ability to move from the realm of thought.
Yes. Because
it's
that's
one
a
thing
skill.
To conceptualize.
Yes.
It's another thing
to implement, to operationalize, operations management, especially in the Nigerian context.
In the Nigerian context, huge. Because most times you have to invent everything.
You're a problem solver.
Oh, yes.
That is all you are. That is the one skill Nigerians take anywhere. Nothing phases you.
Yeah.
As soon as you're hearing one problem, your brain is going in like 10 different directions. Of which one is going to...
How do I get out of this?
And I have plan A, plan B, plan C, and then as a backup, I have a D.
And you see, I just wish to God Almighty that some of the political leaders can sit down and understand that our people are different.
Yeah.
We're wired. I mean, look at that brief period, those brief moments, 1985 in China when our boys beat the rest of the world.
Even the math.
In 1996 in Atlanta.
Yes.
And there are those moments out of nothing.
No, they had no structure to even back them
what
up.
I always say is that Nigerians have mastered the art of pulling victory out of
defeat.
Of defeat. You think the Nigerian is down.
Yes, it's that Shangri spirit though. I think it's that if we can bottle it.
We can. It's for our people to recognize it.
Okay, tell me one joke. Before you go, you're not leaving here without telling me a joke.
And I forgot I was...
You had one right at the tip of your tongue.
Yes, okay. One guy was traveling to the east, in these luxurious buses, then they ran into this band of armed robbers. Tough looking. Hey, all of you come down! So they came down. Okay, all the women line up here, all the men line up here. So it was now, they were going and collecting. So this guy in charge of the women line, he just saw one man there. He said, look at you, idiot. I told you all the men should go there. I said, sir, in the presence of a man like you, I'm a woman. I don't want to insult you by calling myself a man. Sir, I'm a woman.
That is priceless. I hope that got him out of trouble.
Of course. What are you going to do? The man has already...
Oh, Nigeria.
He's self-deprecating.
Nigerian brain.
He's losing his... Guys, I'm sure he's calculating. Draw the attention away from yourself. Anyway. If you know the permutation in his head.
I'll tell you one joke I have to read out because there's a listener who very nice letter wrote us and said, his name is Clinton, and he said, please, I have a joke for you. And he said, why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself? Why couldn't the bicycle stand up?
Because it needs a third leg.
Because it was too tired.
Oh, too tired. Oh, God.
So thank you, Clinton. Thank you. That was priceless. So how do they get hold of you? If people are so inspired and they want to reach out to you, they want to work for you, they want to give you a business idea.
Aderinwale at gmail.com.
Wow, you're very brave. That is fantastic. Aderinwale at
gmail.com.
Okay.
I can give them my number as well.
Excellent.
080-5800-3828.
Wow, you're so generous. That's amazing. If listeners, if you know what Ayo has done for me personally, anyway, I'm not going to out myself, but he's so generous with his time, with his advice, with his he's a one-off, and I'm just so happy.
Yeah, it's also because I don't live in fear. A lot of people say they don't pick numbers they don't know. What's my own? Pata you'll be 419.
Yeah, 419.
The one that called me, he's with some industrialists. So you're thinking, so what sector can they be investing in Nigeria? I said, let's build prison. I said, because you know your family member that are going now. You with that? I said, I already get you from here.
Thank you so much, Ayo. And listeners, don't forget to subscribe and send us an email at mail@bananaislandliving.com. Go to our Instagram at bananaislandliving, Twitter at banana_living, and talk to you again.